It's that time of year. We're at Bristol on the dirt for the qualifying races, the Camping World Truck Series. Yeah, it's dirt, baby. And we've got the dirt down on the half mile here at Bristol. Vince Welch along with Michael Waltrip. Had a couple of practices yesterday, and it did not go well for Haley Deegan in this first practice. Significant contact, had to go to the backup. No problem for Stuart Friesen, though he was fastest in that first session. The final practice, trouble for a couple of teammates. Austin Dillon trying to avoid Jack Wood, and then Kaz Gralla couldn't get slowed down. Heavy damage to both of those trucks. They pulled a backup off the hauler and ended up repairing the two of those trucks with the parts from that one off the hauler. Joey Logano was the fastest in that second practice, and he is with our Josh Sims.
Yeah, Joey Logano won this race on the dirt in the Cup car last year. Now you're doing double duty in the truck. What are your expectations for this heat race and for tonight's truck race?
Your guess is as good as mine on some of it. I'm watching all these cars pack the track in, and how long that moisture stays in there, I don't know. The sun's popping back out, and so I think we'll be ready for the track to change. Even within those 15 laps, I think the track will change some. So we'll watch the first couple and see where we're at and try to get the old Planet Fitness F-150 into the show, and hopefully with a good start. So it's cool to drive a truck. It's been a long time. I think it's been 7 years for me, so it's nice to have Planet Fitness on it and hopefully get a win today.
It's like riding a bike. You don't forget, right, Joey?
I don't know. Maybe. We'll see.
Good luck tonight.
Michael, I liked his comment. Your guess is as good as mine. That seems like a common theme around here this weekend.
And you heard him at the end. I don't know. A lot of unanswered questions so far. But one thing I love is what we saw with the track yesterday. Got a little dusty. It seemed to be predominantly around the bottom early on, and the track prep team and NASCAR went to work on that racetrack. And man, we saw a couple of great practices. The second truck practice and the Cup guys loving what this track is doing. Being able to run right out next to the fence or all the way down on the bottom, the track is in great shape.
Well, the track prep has definitely gotten good grades, much better grades than a year ago. We've got 4 heat races coming up for the Camping World Truck Series when we come back. One look and you know we are at Bristol. Looks a little different with that dirt on there, here for the second time on the dirt at Bristol.
And then you got to take a second look and say, we're at Bristol?
This is, of course, the second year that we've run the dirt on this track. Martin Truex Jr. was the winner in the Truck Series on the dirt a year ago. Joey Logano won the Cup race on the dirt, and Logano is running the truck this year, so wants to get a little extra experience. We heard from him just a moment ago. As you see on the right-hand side, the lineup for this first heat race as the trucks start to roll off pit road. Austin Dillon starting from the pole, of course, the winner of the very first dirt race in the trucks, and that was at Eldora.
That truck looks a lot better than it did when we saw it a bit ago, didn't it?
Yes, they have repaired it. How difficult is that, Michael? Because for the most part, these teams don't carry a backup dirt truck. They might have brought a truck, extra truck on the hauler, but as was the case with Young's Motorsports, they took the parts and pieces off that hauler truck and put them on these trucks to repair them.
I think it's the professionals that work on these trucks down there are going to get the job done right. And obviously the damage to Dylan's truck in the back was a lot less than Kaz Gralla's, who tore his front end up. But I think this is really interesting when we're getting ready to start this race. We got Austin Dillon on the pole, who has his truck torn all to heck in practice yesterday afternoon, but knows what he's doing in the trucks, and like you said, a winner on the dirt in the Truck Series. And then back in the back, I love the fact that Buddy Kofed is back there, because he was one of the fastest guys in practice yesterday. There's the 51 truck, and I'm just going to go with Buddy. I struggle with that Foyd.
Like Boyd, Foyd, Boyd, Void.
I appreciate you working with me on that, Vince. I know his name, and I drive up and down the road saying Kofoid. But then when I go to say it, it doesn't come out right. But what I will tell you about that young man is he's got a lot of people watching him. A very successful open-wheel racer. And after practice yesterday, I know you're going to put him on your short list as well. I mean, he could win this race.
Yes.
His first ever start.
In this first heat race, the 49 of Andrew Gordon was scheduled to start third, but they had to make some repairs. Going to end up having to start at the back of the field. because of different chassis than what they actually brought to race, so they're going to have to go to the back. Meanwhile, we'll try to chat with Austin Dillon.
Hey, Austin, it's Waltrip and the boys on the Fox team. You there?
Yes, sir. I got you there.
Man, that truck looks spiffy after what happened yesterday. You feel good about the repairs, and the track looks good too.
Well, I feel really good about the hard work and effort that Young Motorsports put in. We rebuilt the rear of this thing, so turn one might get interesting, but we're going to hammer down and see what it does when we get there.
All right, have a good race. Thanks.
I like how Austin said it might get interesting because nobody really knows exactly what they're going to get. You might have an idea, but you're going to all find out together.
And these 4 races are going to be eagerly watched by all the competitors from the Cup Series. You know, the guys that are getting ready to race in the next race, everybody's eyes are going to be peeled to see what this track does and where you can make passes and make moves.
Haley Deegan up top, keeping an eye on the action. She will race in the 3rd heat. And here we go. Qualifying race number 1 underway. Austin Dillon and Tanner Gray up front. Dillon on the bottom. Going to grab that top spot. Some jockeying in the back of the pack. Remember, you not only get a point designation for where you finish, but you also get passing points. So if you start 5th and finish 3rd, that's an extra couple of points. Buddy Kofoid on the move on the inside in that 51 truck.
Oh, 3 wide off turn 2. Will that work? Colby Howard up the middle.
Gordon in that 49 on the move.
Yeah, he's had a great start to this race. It looked like a little bit of damage too on it. As you see, the battle for the lead heats up. Austin Dillon, truck's all running pretty much lower than we saw yesterday in practice. We'll see how that changes over the course of these races.
Howard in the 91, Gordon in the 49, and remember, Gordon started at the back. They're running for 5th. Timmy Hill and the 9 of Blaine Perkins, with Jack Wood behind them in the 24.
Jack with a nice run there off turn 2, closing in on that battle ahead of him.
Remember, these are 15-lap heat races, and your total points from your finishing position and your passing points of all 4 heat races, they'll take those points, and that's how the lineup will be set for tonight's 150 lapper.
How do you think that Young's Motorsports team's feeling about that handyman work they did last night on that 02 truck? He had that, or excuse me, the 20 truck, he had that thing torn all to pieces, and yet out there leading on the very next lap he gets to run.
As Austin said, a lot of hard work went into the repairs. But Parker Kligerman in that 75 up there running 3rd.
Wow, this is a great battle.
Kofoid down on the bottom, trying to close the gap on Kligerman.
And you could see the, oh, look at that, side by side. Parker heating up Tanner.
Good corner.
Got the feeling Kligerman's a little quicker than Gray, but being able to get there and then get by him, 2 different things right now. Going to be a little conservative maybe in the heat races compared to what we might see later on in the feature.
A lot of mud on the noses of these trucks, Vince. I haven't seen any spray from the overflow on the radiator, so I think they're okay, but that's a bit of a concern. I see there on the 15 truck of Gray, we see some water blowing out of it. Got to make another 7 laps.
Yeah, the 9.
Yeah.
There is the water off the 9 as well. And the track is certainly as wet as it's going to be for these heat races, for sure, as we've gone past the halfway mark.
I want to tell you something that's frustrating, Vince. If you're Tanner Gray there blowing water, or Blaine Perkins, as you see there, it makes those 6-7 laps you got to run seem like 60 or 70. You're just very, very nervous about making it as Tanner Gray is off the pace there.
Josh.
And trouble for Tanner Gray. They said if it keeps pumping water the way it was, we're going to park it. It kept getting worse, and they said we got to bring this in. Tanner Gray definitely upset over the radio just a few minutes ago.
He was running 2nd. Meanwhile, if you look at the grill of the 20, there's the 51. Look at all the mud on it. And then how about the grill of the 20?
Pull in.
Oh, they're getting the word for Buddy Kofoid to pull in as well because of all that mud. Now look at the grill of the 20, because no one is in front of him kicking up the mud back to him. His grill is clean.
And that should just improve, obviously, as these trucks run the groove in.
And the one thing you want to be cautious of is make sure that truck is good for the race tonight.
You know, there's some drivers that aren't guaranteed in tonight's main event, Vince, and if that gets on their radiator, they'll have no choice but to just try to run it home.
Just a couple of laps left in this first heat race. Austin Dillon, no real pressure as Kligerman several truck lengths back, running second. Austin Dillon, the winner of the inaugural Truck Series race on dirt back in 2013. And he's going to win heat race number 1 as he brings it around 3 and 4 one last time.
Nice run for Parker Kligerman for that hometown race team. Checkered flag for Austin Dillon.
And how about the 49 of Gordon? Andrew Gordon had to start from the back and needs to race his way in for the race tonight and ends up finishing 4th. Job well done. So Austin Dillon wins heat 1 with Parker Kligerman second. And a tough break for Buddy Kofoid and Tanner Gray, who had to pull off because of all that mud on the grill. Close quarter racing on the dirt at Bristol. There's your winner of heat race 1. Austin Dillon started on the pole and led them all. Of course, tomorrow is Easter, and we'll have an Easter celebration beginning at 4:30 right here on FS1 with Chris Tomlin and Max Lucado. FS1 race day and ultimately the Cup race. Let's go downstairs to Josh.
Here with Buddy Kofoid. Unfortunately, you had to pit early in heat race number 1. Can you let me know what you were battling there?
Yeah, just starting in the back, you know, with right up to the track rework, you're kind of bound to get caked with mud, and you know, I was trying to stay out of the tire tracks, people in front of me, so it wouldn't happen as much as I could, and I just covered the radiator opening, and eventually just got really hot and had to pull in. So, but you know, the KBM guys give me a really fast Mob 1 Tundra, and it was looking like it was going to be a really good points showing for our heat race to be good for the race, I think, but just can't really control that.
Some things you just can't control. Good luck tonight, buddy.
Well, and you got to keep an eye on the big picture too for Buddy Kofoid and that KBM team, and that's why they pulled it in.
No choice.
Don't want to blow the motor up.
Saw how thick that mud was on the nose of the truck.
Here's our look at our Heat 2 starting lineup.
Another interesting lineup, if you ask me, Vince. Back on in 10th spot, Mike Marlar. He won a big dirt race, late model dirt race here in the Bristol area Thursday night. Now he's going to try to battle his way through the field. Let's see what Matt Crafton is thinking.
It looks a little harder than it was. Yeah, I think most of that happened in the first 5-8 laps, and then it kind of settled down.
And I think that mud on the nose, that shouldn't be a problem in this race. I think, like the spotter was saying, you know, it happened early, and then the track dried up some, and they were able to run to the finish. So hopefully that's the case.
And the more the track is run in as well, the less mud that will fly. But hopefully it won't be an issue. Tough break for sure for Kofoid and Tanner Gray in that first heat race. Ty Majeski and Tyler Ankrum up front, and boy, Hocevar made a dive down to the bottom in front of Crafton, gunning for that second position now side by side with Ankrum. That was an aggressive move.
That was fancy, wasn't it? He had just enough room to dive in there and made it work, and now takes over the second spot.
Putting Ankrum on the outside, and Hocevar's got that second spot. Crafton third, and Majeski out front. Ty Majeski has been an interesting story this weekend. Coming into this week, had not run a dirt race in his life. And he looked really sporty in practice yesterday, and right now is out front of this second heat race. I think it's an indication of his ability, the car control or truck control in this case, and Majeski's talent has shined this weekend.
Crafton's got a lot of mud on that nose. See if he's going to get away with it. Hocevar is able to have his clean, and you can see the mess there. First heat, it was about halfway when we saw some water starting to spray out of these engines.
Zane Smith in the 38, and how about that 30 truck? Tate Fogelman side by side. Some good racing for position there. That's the 5th spot up for grabs. Smith, of course, a 2-time winner already this season. Fogelman trying to make it work on the top. That's Tyler Ankrum just ahead of him.
To me, that's the fun part about dirt racing, Vince. You know, you can see a guy just trying to just dig down on the bottom of the racetrack. Another guy up on the higher part. All kinds of different grooves and lanes these drivers have to choose from.
Fogelman still trying to get that position, and Ankrum might come into play just ahead of them. So Fogelman gets the spot from Smith, and now let's see if they can get past Ankrum in that 16.
I like where Ankrum's going right now, kind of starting to wander up the racetrack. We see most everybody dead down on the bottom, but he's trying to make it work up top a little bit. That's what a race car driver wants, is options, Vince. You want to be able to try something new and different if you're not making ground on the guy ahead of you.
Fogelman and Smith have definitely closed the gap on Ankrum, though, as they narrow the advantage. Ankrum running 4th. And remember, passing points up for grabs, so every position is important. Gets you a little closer to the front for the feature. Ty Majeski is your leader, just past the halfway point. 6 laps left in this 15-lap heat race.
Last time by, the top 3 trucks ran the same speed, exactly the same time. And
we saw that mud on the grill in the initial heat race be such a factor. Not the case here in this one, as the track starts to get run in and dry a little bit, a little drier each time out. Hocevar keeping Majeski honest. Starting to close the gap inside of a half second now.
He's got a little bit of breathing room over Crafton there, Vince, and that's enabled Carson to move around somewhat. A little bit higher groove in 1 and 2, and the same in 3 and 4.
The ThorSport trucks have looked good this weekend. Big roads, fast in practice yesterday. Felt very comfortable. You see they're running 1st and 3rd in this heat race. Meanwhile, Ankrum has gapped Fogelman a little bit for 4th. Just a couple of laps remaining.
Got to give it to Zane Smith. He's lost some ground the last couple of laps, but he was trying that high groove like we saw Hocevar doing as well. Now he's right back down on the bottom. You're learning a lot, Vince, right now. Not necessarily what does work, but also what doesn't work, and give you an idea of what kind of playbook you can have when we go racing tonight in the main event.
Last lap of heat race number 2. Ty Majeski, and that's 66 for ThorSport. Coming through turn 4 and on his way to the checkers.
You're playing a good job, bud.
Well, so far we've seen the person who started from the pole win both races. We've seen some good movement back in the pack, but he who has started on pole has been in the key position and has been able to hold on to it in these first 2 heat races. Kaz Grala hoping that will be the same for heat race number 3, as he will start from the pole.
Well, his truck was tore all to pieces last night, and worked out all right for Austin Dillon, didn't it?
It did
He was in the wreck as well and won his heat.
There you see the points. Majeski with 10 and Hocevar had 11 thanks to the passing points. 2 heat races down. We're halfway through at Bristol. Back at Bristol and through 2 heat races, Parker Kligerman has scored the most points. Remember, you get points for your finish and passing points if you improve your starting position. If you don't improve your starting position, it's a 0 in regards to passing points. So Kligerman and Hocevar have scored the most points so far. Neither one of them won their heat race, but because of their passing, they scored the most points.
You can see these teams have really went to work on their grills after what they learned from earlier. It's not unapproved. NASCAR allows the teams to work on the noses, and the team is looking to do so. Not only taping it in different configuration vents, but also spraying some oil or PAM, whatever the substance might be, to try to help the dirt slip off of it.
Our Heat 2 winner, Ty Majeski, with Josh.
And Ty, you say you don't have a lot of experience out there on the dirt in the truck. Doesn't look like it, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I was skeptical coming into this weekend. Obviously, I'm a short track asphalt guy. This is a lot of fun. It's something different, a new challenge. You got to search for the moisture, and that element is different. So it's a fun challenge. We've had a really, really fast T-Sport Toyota Tundra TRD Pro all weekend, and hopefully we can keep it going tonight.
Your Heat 2 winner, Ty Majeski.
Impressive indeed through practice yesterday and the heat race today. Here's why they've been doing those front end work on the front ends of the trucks. Tanner Gray had to come in from 2nd place in his heat race. Buddy Kofoid had to come in from 3rd, as you see all the mud that had been accumulated on the front of those trucks in heat race 1 was not a problem in the 2nd heat race.
You know, and we got a lot of rain this morning, Vince. I woke up at 5 a.m. to a downpour, so that definitely affected the racetrack. NASCAR and the track officials did their best to pack it in, but it was just simply a little bit too wet to start that first heat, but now it's fine.
As you see our lineup for the 3rd heat race, or qualifying race if you will, as you take all the points from finishing position and passing points to set the lineup for tonight's 150 lapper as we're on board the bumper cam with Joey Logano. Hailie Deegan was supposed to start 4th, but she's had to go to the tail. Joey Logano went to the backup truck.
I was going to say, Vince, Joey Logano took advantage of that. Hailie having to drop to the back and moved up from his 6th starting position to 4th, and now he's around the outside for 2nd.
Great move by Logano. Will garner some passing points. Enfinger with the lead, and a little side-by-side with Eckes and Kaz Grala. Eckes is going to get that 3rd spot. So a lot of action here on this first lap. Ben Rhodes, meanwhile, trying to corral it with Matt DiBenedetto going underneath.
What about
how about Rhodes and DiBenedetto putting Chris Wright in the middle?
That's Norm Benning in the 6th truck. He's having a nice run early, but man, I like where Ben Rhodes is going, don't you?
The confidence and speed of Ben Rhodes around the top side. Benning putting up a fight momentarily, but unable to hold off Rhodes, and now Hailie Deegan trying to get in and take advantage.
And here comes DiBenedetto. Grew up on a dirt track in Northern California, and he's going to power into the side of Deegan.
Doesn't work. Hailie Deegan now trying to get around Norm Benning. Benning's got to race his way in, but he's losing spots. Can Hailie make it work? Not this time. Still working the top side. Meanwhile, DiBenedetto goes to the bottom. Norm gets put in the middle. And both Deegan and DiBenedetto get around.
Nice and smart here. Don't
nice move by Hailie Deegan. DiBenedetto making it work also. Meanwhile, on the left side of the screen for the lead, Grant Enfinger out front. Joey Logano pressuring. Christian Eckes in the picture there in 3rd.
And our pole sitter, Kaz Gralla. He's dropped back to the 4th position.
Great view from the bumper cam of Logano.
That is so
No higher
cool.
than that. 9 laps to go.
9 laps to go. Just a little over 4 miles, Vince. But man, it seems like forever when you're slipping and sliding and trying to win your heat.
Infinger is good on the dirt also. It'll be a tough pass for Logano. Infinger, 5 truck starts on the dirt, 4 top 5s. Feels comfortable.
Listen to Joey work that throttle. And here comes Ben Rhodes. Oh no, Haley's around.
Haley Deegan has gone around down in turn 2, and the caution is out. Unfortunate for Deegan. Boy, it's been not just a tough weekend for Haley after the contact yesterday, sent her to the backup truck and cost her a bunch of practice time, but she has not caught a break this season. I mean, it has been a tough go for Haley Deegan. 3 finishes outside the top 30. 17th at Daytona has been her season best. And she just lost it on her own going into turn 2.
You know, you pointed out yesterday, Vince, during practice, we are seeing a lot of trucks have issues over in turn 2. Most all the spins happen there. And another one around as Haley had to get away from her. She was solid in the running order. A little bit nervous about her point situation. You mentioned the struggle she's had this season, making sure she's going to be able to race tonight.
Yeah, but she could miss the show tonight.
That's I'm saying she's going to have to hustle it up here.
Mike Hillman Jr., crew chief for Deegan.
You should not be allowed down. Going to be 1 to go next time. Bye.
And as mentioned, she's caught some tough breaks, but got to rally. Got to rally here as we're halfway through this 15-lap heat race.
Truck turns good, just a little too good on me.
I like that communication with the team. Yep. You know, it's turning good. I just got away from me. The little turned a little too good, and that just lets the team know exactly the direction the truck is heading, handling-wise, and how they might be able to address that if she's able to get her way back up through. She's fast enough to pass enough trucks, I think, Vince. We'll just have to see if she's got enough time to do it.
Getting lined up again for this 2-wide restart. Remember, only green flag laps count in the 15-lap heat races. It'll be interesting to see this battle at the front. Infinger and Logano. Got the feeling that Infinger was a little quicker, Logano was a little quicker, but just couldn't quite get around Grant.
Well, they were
running single file. We'll see how it is on this restart.
They were both running dead down on the bottom of the track. So Joey's going to be up in the outside. Can he take advantage of that? We saw Christian Eckes make some big moves down into the corner, as we did with Ben Rhodes.
Here we come.
That'll be Eckes on the inside of row 2, and Kaz Gralla beside him on the outside of the second row. Ben Rhodes on the inside of row 3. He has speed and has shown aggressiveness and comfort. Can he make a move toward the front as Logano gets that top spot from Infinger around the outside, and Rhodes working the outside as well. Rhodes around Eckes, and now going to work on Infinger. Ben Rhodes has been the most impressive through these 2.5 heat races we've seen so far. He has really shown speed and the ability to put that truck wherever he wants it. That's Rhodes in the 99, his teammate Eckes in the 98 behind him. DiBenedetto in the 25 runs 5th, and Haley Deegan working on positions. She's grabbed a couple, one from Norm Benning, another from Chris Wright.
And last time by, she was faster than anybody on the track except for our leader. So see if she can keep that momentum going.
Rhodes still working on Infinger, trying to grab that second spot. Eckes closing up. Logano is out to comfortable advantage. 4 laps remaining in this heat race.
Eckes isn't giving up, trying to battle against his teammate there, Ben Rhodes. He's poking the nose a little bit lower than Rhodes, but hasn't made any progress yet.
Haley Deegan still back in that 7th spot.
Kaz Grala just up ahead in that blue 02 off turn 2. He's trying to get the spot away from DiBenedetto. Just 2 to go.
Kaz Grala up ahead of Haley Deegan as she tries to close in for position. Meanwhile, for second place, it's Enfinger and Rhodes. Rhodes still trying to work that top side.
He's fun to watch.
He is not giving up. Final lap in heat race number 3. Rhodes still leaning on it up top. He's making Enfinger earn it.
Kaz Grala to the inside of DiBenedetto, just behind these two.
Good side-by-side battle for second. Who is it going to be? It looks like Rhodes is going to get him. Ben Rhodes used that banking and came off turn 4. Got a little better drive off turn 4 and nipped Enfinger at the line for second. Deegan raced back to 7th.
We think that could do the trick of transferring her into the main event.
So
I'm getting older by the day with you, you know what?
I feel you, man.
That sounds like relief. Worrying about whether we're racing or not, and oh yeah, we made it.
She sounds like she's keeping the right attitude, though. Joey Logano, the winner of heat number 3. One more to go. Joey Logano from 6th to 1st in that 3rd heat race earns him the most points so far. As you see, the most points gained through 3 heat races. Rhodes also in that heat race came from deep in the field to finish 2nd in that heat race. Haley Deegan, who spun and went to the back in her heat race that just concluded, ended up getting up a couple of positions to 7th from 9th, and I believe that's going to be enough to get her in the main show tonight. And she's with Josh Sims.
Yeah, Haley Deegan just getting out of the truck and debriefing with her team. Haley, I know it's been a rough start to the weekend, but you got some fast laps out there. What was your takeaway from what you were able to do during that heat race?
It was a little wild because I went out there. This ain't our dirt truck right here. So just trying to make this truck work and do the best we can. And the guys honestly absolutely killed it. It was definitely a different feeling for me. It's not very similar to my other truck that I drove, but honestly, it still was great. Still had a lot of speed, which is all that matters. Took me a minute to get used to it. Definitely made too aggressive of a brake adjustment while I was in there. Ended up getting loose over there, and I was like, I ain't sliding into the inside wall, so I was like, I'm just gonna finish cutting it, let it loop around. But honestly, that little adjustment right there, that brake adjustment, it's a good tool to have inside the truck. So I think that going into the race, we might make a few little adjustments to the truck, and then from there, I take over.
Appreciate your time and good luck tonight, Haley.
Thank you.
I like her happiness and her energy, the feel of the truck. She talked about it being a different truck. All those things are important to relay to the crew about how to work on that truck so she can be better tonight.
Here's our lineup for this final heat race of the 4. Remember, 15 lapper, green flag laps only counting.
Husband and wife on the back row there. Talked to Stewart last night and said, who drew for y'all?
It was a blind draw that set the lineups, and with Dean Thompson and Chandler Smith out front. Thompson in the 40, Chandler Smith in the 18. Chase Elliott in the 7 on the outside, trying to work in for second.
This is a stacked heat race, isn't it? There you see
Stuart Friesen in the 52, Jessica Friesen in the 62.
Jessica's trying to keep pace with Stewart. Stewart with a 3-truck pass there, and Chase Elliott's heating up Chandler Smith for the lead.
Chase Elliott really got this 7-truck rolling in that second and final practice yesterday evening. Found some really good speed as Friesen picks up a spot from John Hunter Nemechek and now works on Thompson for 4th. Stewart going up around the top side.
John Hunter Nemechek will see that and say, hey man, there's grip up there. I need to slide up top, and that's exactly what he does.
Boy, really the comfort zone for Stuart Friesen on this dirt. As you see, Chandler Smith has gapped Chase Elliott just a bit now, about a couple of truck lengths.
It's so.
You got to call Stuart Friesen one of the favorites for tonight, considering how he makes his, for the most part, his living on the dirt tracks night in, night out.
He wins all over the country in dirt cars, and so this is right up his alley. We kind of surprised he wasn't any better than he was here a year ago. He's had some issues there, but I expect him to be on my short list of favorites.
Well, Chase Elliott really heating up Chandler Smith now as Elliott looks topside. Ten laps left, right on the bumper. Again, Smith trying to hold off Chase Elliott.
As you can see, just behind those two comes another pair of fast trucks. Derek Kraus trying to close in on Chase with Stewart all over his bumper.
That's for third. Kraus, the pole winner last year at Knoxville, finished fifth in that race. And Friesen in the 52. Stewart's wife Jessica back in eighth. Stewart looking inside, really on the bumper of Derek Kraus now, but can he make a move? Where is the spot? Can he go down, get it down underneath?
No pressure, work how you want.
Great view from Stuart Friesen's visor.
Listening to that engine churn as he just jumped on that gas pedal. See what he does here. Tried to clobber it, wouldn't stick, had to work the gas, lost a couple of truck lengths to Kraus.
Right out in front of him, the top three. Kraus in third. Chase Elliott still working on Chandler Smith for the top spot. Elliott continues to take a look up high, but just cannot get the drive off to get that spot. Rubbing the back end bumper of Chandler Smith that time, but to no avail. Might have even opened the door a little bit for Derek Kraus. 5 laps left.
Kraus has driven away from Stuart Friesen too. He wants to be a part of that battle for the lead.
See the overall points on the bottom left portion of the pylon. Logano from 6th to 1st in that previous heat race, leading the way so far. Would be on the pole for the race tonight. Good battle for these top 3 positions. Chandler Smith in the 18, Chase Elliott in the 7, Derek Kraus in the 19. Kraus working the bottom against Chase Elliott for second.
That's a couple of Napa guys there, Vince, doing battle.
Jessica Friesen back in 8th, still needs 1 spot if she's going to get in for the race tonight. That's Dean Thompson up ahead of her in the 40.
Nice corner, clear by 2.
That's some good coaching by the spotter, telling her good job, like that line. You got a gap behind you, go get him.
2 more laps.
Just a couple of laps to do it, however. Got to close in quickly. About a second difference. 1 lap left for Chandler Smith. Chase Elliott running second. Derek Kraus third. Smith heading into turn 3. Elliott maybe take one more look at it. Not going to be able to do it. Chandler Smith's going to hold on and win heat race number 4.
Really nice work, man. Hazard.
Jessica gave it a good run after Dean Thompson, but couldn't quite get there.
Tough break for Jessica Friesen. Not going to make it here at Bristol for the 2nd year in a row. Chandler Smith, no stranger to running out front, already with 1 win this season. Chase Elliott finished 2nd to Smith. Back at Bristol Motor Speedway, the 4 qualifying heat races complete. And the most points accumulated in those heat races by Joey Logano and Ben Rhodes. So Logano will start from the pole and Rhodes will begin alongside on the front row for tonight's 150 lapper. Chandler Smith won heat race 4. He's with Josh.
Chandler Smith, your heat race 4 winner, showed a lot of speed out there. What did you learn in practice and the heat race that you can use tonight?
Yeah, the second practice yesterday, it was obviously pretty slick out there, and we got to Charge Me Toyota Tundra, handling really, really well. Top, bottom, wherever I needed to go, it was handling really well. So we really focused on that. We didn't know how it was really going to be right here because of how moist everything was and how much grip the track was going to have in it. So we kind of were just winging it, and it turned out to be really good. So happy for all these guys, happy for Charge Me, and look forward to the main event.
Chandler Smith has a win on the concrete, looking for a win on the dirt here at Bristol.
Yeah, won here on the concrete last fall. A little different animal on the dirt.
I think it's just incredible
tonight.
How different it is, Vince. You know, when you come to Bristol, you just think about grip and how hard you can drive in the corners and mat that gas. And we have quite a different scenario here with the dirt on the track. It's about finesse and slipping and sliding.
36 will start tonight. And we mentioned that Joey Logano and Ben Rhodes will be on the front row. Logano on the pole. Stuart Friesen, Parker Kligerman, impressive in those heat races. Hocevar, Chandler Smith in row 3.
Austin Dillon with a wrecked truck when he left here yesterday. Top 10 starting spot tonight.
Really been impressed with Ty Majeski so far this weekend as well. He's in row 4. Colby Howard, I know, has caught your attention a couple of different times, Mike.
Yeah, he's been fast, and it's been fun to watch him, and just aggressive, being able to really hang that truck out. Tyler Ankrum is another guy I got my eye on, starting back in the 20th position.
Marlar and Gordon in row 11. Harrison Burton down from the Cup Series. Haley Deegan making the show there in row 13.
Tanner Gray with those heating problems we saw earlier.
Yeah, Buddy Kofoid and Tanner Gray were running second and third in their initial heat race and had so much mud on the grill they had to pull off to protect the engine. So that'll be exciting seeing those two come from the back tonight, as Norm Benning and Jessica Friesen were the two that did not make the show for this evening. Back to Josh.
Ben Rhodes starting on the front row for tonight's race. I saw you running the top line, being aggressive out there. What did you learn during practice and qualifying?
Yeah, I just hope our race is less eventful than that. I think at one point we were battling for last on the start, and I'm just watching Joey drive away. I think he started 4th. So was frustrating start, but after passing all the trucks, I started feeling better about it. Just needed more time and the track to come to us a little bit. It was a little bit too tacky for my favor with the way that we have this truck set up. So as the night goes on, hopefully we'll just get better and better.
Now, you're one of the few out here that says you like the dirt here at Bristol. I think you're the outlier. Why?
I don't know. I think my stats, honestly, I look back at Concrete Bristol, and I think we finished 5th was my best finishing position. But now, 2nd last year, 2nd in both practices, 2nd to start the race. I just need to improve the position by 1, and I'll be okay. I don't know. The Toyota Tundra's fast. I just want to, give my guys something they can be proud of.
Ben Rhodes just wants a taste of victory once again, guys.
Yeah, it's been interesting to watch him. He certainly feels comfortable. He's been aggressive. Rich Lucius has done a good job with some help from Tracy Hines, former USAC national champion, who works at ThorSport as well and proficient on the dirt. Really been aiding that group with the 99 camp. Here's a look at Ty Dillon, who, as the Cup guys are getting ready to roll here for their heat races, and which begins coming up at 6 o'clock. Of course, remember, we'll be on FS1 tonight at 8 p.m. with the 150 lapper.
There's Larson hanging out.
You took a little money from him on the golf course today. You want to talk a little trash while you got him on the screen there?
Well, I just was doing research. I want to make sure I understood everything about the dirt, and we had a good time this morning, and it's always cool to hang out with the drivers and hear what they're thinking, especially with this animal and that driver on the dirt. He knows it all.
Well, a couple of good dirt guys right there with Chase Briscoe in that conversation as well.
And Ty Dillon. He does a lot of dirt racing.
America's Day at the Races coming up next on FS2, and the Cup qualifying races are just ahead, so stay tuned. For Josh Sims, Michael Waltrip, I'm Vince Welch. Look forward to 150 laps on the dirt tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern on FS1. Stay tuned.